So we're constantly told that Putin he's ill. He doesn't look very well. There's a coup that's about to be launched. That he's reviewing his options because things have gone so bad. That his troops have turned around the other way. That they were chased out of this part of Ukraine, and so it builds up this feeling that everything's about to actually tip over, and that we don't really have too much to worry about. But the caveat to all of that is that it never seems to fucking happen. Like, he doesn't die, he doesn't fall ill, nobody overthrows him, the war is still ongoing. What is your sense of where we're actually at now, really?
See, it's funny because these are three such loaded questions, or rather the examples that you've provided can generate so many different, such lengthy answers. So I'll try my best.
Sorry, it's a really convoluted question, but yeah, do your best.
I'm also a very descriptive person, so I'm going to try to do my best to not take 7 hours of your time. But
Sure.
Let's start with the Putin is sick, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Putin is sick. Putin, there is this terrible image that has been drawn. Well, first off, I'd like to preface it by saying that the UK actually has a pretty good informational space when it comes to Ukraine, because both the people and the government seem to care equally enough, or the government cares because the people care, right? So at least there is like a load of support for Ukraine in the UK. So I would say that I don't see as many like problematic narratives as I see in the United States, or say in Germany, or in places that are more heavily populated by the Russians, right? But there is this really problematic narrative that I personally despise so much, and that's the one man's war, right? If Putin dies, it's not Putin who sits there in his chair and, kills Ukrainians. It's not Putin who drops bombs. It's not Putin who assays people. It's not Putin it's not only Putin who believes that Ukrainians are Nazis or calls us slurs, or, wanted to start this war. Putin is a product of Russia. Russia is not a product of Putin. If you look at Russian history, they've always had a Tsar who's always been taking and taking and taking lands. Like, this is not new for Russia, right? This has been happening. They took Moldova, they took Chechnya, they took, Transnistria and Moldova. They invaded Georgia. Before that, if you look at the map of the Soviet Union, it was expanding. If you look at the map of the Russian Empire, it was expanding. So there's always been this situation, right? And so if Putin dies, first of all, I think the whole ill thing, these are just rumors. I don't pay attention to them. I think it's stupid. Like, no one really knows. And even if he was ill, we wouldn't know. If he wasn't ill, we also wouldn't know, because again, Russian information space is so saturated with people who do the tasks to confuse you and to tell you wrong information that you never know. But also, at the end of the day, if Putin dies, right, the apparatus behind Putin is still there. One man cannot do all of these things if the rest of the government and the rest of the people and the rest of the lackeys around him don't want to do these things. Because if realistically, if most of Russian oligarchs, if most of Russian politicians, if most of Putin's circle of elites, right, were against this, it would have ended. Because what is his power based on? It's based on the people who back him, right? Again, it's kind of, it's childish to think that this one guy is just a mastermind behind everything. It's like there is an idea, like the same as, people like to compare it to Hitler, right? And I do too, but in a little bit of a different scenario. When the people who followed Hitler, the people who believed in his ideas, they believed those ideas themselves. If Hitler were to die, but Germany wasn't defeated, the people would continue going with these ideas and would continue fulfilling them because they genuinely believed in them. The same in Russia. It's like, it doesn't really matter if the Tsar dies. The Tsar has 83% of domestic support. The Tsar has the support of the oligarchs. The Tsar has the support of the government.